Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Maybe you've done this. I certainly did. You go to some sidekicks. Some people who can look into the future. Now they use cards. They can read the palm. They can do some coffee reading. They can do all kind of things. They can go. You can hold hands and you can tie the Bible somehow, turns this way, turns that way, the spirits are coming and... Okay, maybe you had good experience with that. I had not so good experience. I was I don't want to say involved in that, but anyway, I was actively involved, let's put it this way, in certain things of that kind. Bon. Now, I realized after all my direct experience with this kind of things that usually 99% of the way these things work is like this. You are going to meet a woman and she's going to be good to you, but then she's going to be bad to you, and then it's going to be good to you, and she's going to have blonde hair, and then or dark hair, and you will have a very good life with her, but then something will happen. General stuff. Yeah, of course you're gonna meet a girl sometime, or a boy, whatever your preference is. Of course you're gonna have some time, good time. You're gonna have some bad time. Yes, you're gonna have a while where you're gonna be great, and a while is not gonna be great. Yes, you're gonna have up and downs. They don't tell you, hey, you know what? Next Wednesday on the 15th, this is what's gonna happen to you. A car is gonna come and hit you, and you're gonna go to the hospital to the emergency. They're not gonna tell you that. They're gonna say something not so good is gonna happen to you soon. What do you mean soon? What's that? I mean, I can stay and be so suave and tell you all that with everything around me. Anyway, this is how these guys in the newspapers right now and the mass media, at least coming from Ukraine, they want us to be like, oh, tell us about what's going on. So this is what these little weasels are doing. They tell us that Russia is preparing for an offensive in Ukraine again. And then listen, look at or read the terms they use. So this comes from the New Voice of Ukraine, and it's from the January 31st. Russia likely preparing for offensive in Ukraine in coming months. It's like I tell you, you're gonna meet a beautiful woman in the near future, and you're gonna have some good time, and then you're gonna have some bad time, and then good time. Don't tell me anything. That's nothing that you tell me. It's just, you know what I mean. So here we have, this is the Institute of Study of War. An Institute of Study of War studies and has information, and then he uses the information, analyzes it, brings it to us, likely preparing in coming months. You don't tell me anything. And the whole article here, it tells me that there are no indicators that Russia is preparing to negotiate for peace. Rather, all indicators point to the opposite. Okay, I got that one. But I read here, I'm trying to find out, according to Institute of Study of War, an analyst, Stoltenberg and Timoshenko's statements support ISW's previous forecast that Russian forces are setting conditions to launch an offensive effort, likely in Luhansk Oblast, in the coming months. Thank you very much. Is it in Luhansk or it's not in Luhansk? If you don't have the information, get out of here. The same thing. That's the whole article. Likely, possibly. Okay, that's one article. But I got four, my friends. Four with the same subject from four different sources. Next one. Weasel attack. Right here. Oleksiy Reznikov, the Ukrainian defense minister. Okay? The New Voice of Ukraine. The other one was what? The other one was from, I think, the same source. No, yeah, the New Voice of Ukraine, the New Voice of Ukraine. February 2nd, this is today, my friends. So the other weasels spoke on the 31st. Now they tell us here. You say, oh my God, this gives us more information. They added a number. And again, Reznikov says, Russia may launch new offensive in two directions. Well, may is not is or will. Then if you say may, you tell me what's going on. Everything is evasive. Again, you're going to meet that love of your life in the near future or something. This is the guy. All right. We cannot lose the initiative. I don't think you haven't had initiative. You only in October, I think in September, October, you had the initiative, the only time. And then we think that given that they live by symbols, and I think you live by symbols, they may try something around. We don't underestimate our enemy. So something around February 24th. Actually, you don't know anything. That's what you're telling me. Reznikov noted that according to Ukrainian intelligence, intelligence tells us the exact thing. The Kremlin was able to mobilize about 500,000 Russians. Okay, they officially declared 300,000, but when we see the troops at the borders, according to our estimates, it's much more. Oh, estimates, intelligence, right? When intelligence with estimates, I like that together. So, I don't find, looking down here, I didn't find anything to tell me more in all this article. It's just here. On January 30th, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine would repel any forthcoming Russian offensive and prepare its own major counteroffensive. Good. But in this whole article, Reznikov did not say anything. He said something around maybe. Where are the two fronts? Where are the two fronts? Can you tell me the two fronts, the exact fronts that you are talking about? Of course you're smirking. You have all the reasons in the world to smirk. You think we're dumb, and most of us are. So, pa-bam, next one. Ukrainska Pravda. Again, this is from February 2nd. Putin considers attack from 2 or 3 fronts and can go for Kiev again, Polish Prime Minister tells us. All right, man. I would like to know the 3 fronts, 2 or 3 already. In the near future or in the future. Of course, it's going to be in the future. Can you tell me that 2 or 3 fronts already? And can go to Kiev again? Be afraid, it's coming. There he is. All right, man. These are Polish leaders. What do you want? I guess he was voted or what? I don't know if they vote for the prime minister over there or they vote for the president and the president nominates the prime minister, and then there is the parliament who says yes or no. So, the Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, is concerned that Russian President Vladimir Putin wants to prove to his people that he is a long-run player who never gives up, and therefore he might attack Kiev again. Again, he might. All right, and this, he wants to prove. How do you know that? Is it your assessment? Your sidekick told you that last night? What the hell? And again, I'm quoting the Polish Prime Minister. I think that the plan of Putin and his people, such as Valery Gerasimov, his new commander of the Russian army, is to encircle Ukraine. Okay, did you dream of this or what? And while preparing all these plans, the plans that are not plans, they're plans only in the Prime Minister's head, because he thinks, remember he said, I think that the plan. Then he says it in the next sentence. He takes that I think as a done deal and a reality. And while preparing all these plans that are not proven to exist, only in your head, Putin, probably, again, thinks that he needs to attack from 2 or 3 fronts. So you don't know shit. Again, probably thinks based on your I think. Therefore, I believe it's something that is not necessarily backed by evidence, but move on. That Ukrainians cannot rule out an attack from the Belarusian northern part of Ukraine. This is the same, to encircle Kiev from the west. So again, he believes they cannot rule out. Of course, I can tell you that. It's like I tell you, hey, I think the Russians tomorrow are going to use artillery to shell some Ukrainian, areas. What do you think? I'm going to be 100% certain. But did I say anything? No, we know that's going to happen. I mean, it's not like, oh my God, I think nothing's going to happen tomorrow. Somehow, I don't know, second coming is here or something. The Russians all die and nobody's going to be shelling anything. Please. Now, again, I'm quoting the Prime Minister who's giving us important information. Therefore, you didn't make any points so far. It's just you made a point that is not backed by any evidence, only your imagination, dreams. Putin will probably want. Will or probably? I will go to the store in the next 5 minutes, I tell you that. Or I will probably go. Loses its all value. Want to wait for all mud, swamp and wet ground to drive for an offensive. Really? With all the information that I have, he's got information from Ukraine. Oh my God, that's a good source. I know that there will be another Russian offensive. Pa-pow. And pa-pow. This is the information you got from Ukraine. Presumably, in March or April, did you hear that? I know there will be another. With the information that I have from Ukraine, I know, he knows based on information that I provided, and I have another article to provide more information coming from Ukraine. I know that there will be another offensive, Russia, presumably in March or April. Yes, Gigi, you're going to meet a girl this year. I'm going to meet a lot of girls this year. What are you talking about? Can you tell me her name, how she looks, all this? Yeah, she's going to be probably blonde, but maybe brunette. Or maybe red-haired. And it will be a very heavy offensive. Oh, not a light one. These guys are talking like, as I said. And again, he says, I think that, so again, he reasons. Unfortunately, he is not only full of hatred for Ukraine. Oh, how do you know that? How do you know that? By his behavior? But he wants to show to his people once again that he's a long-run player who never gives up. And he will attack Kiev again. Yes, I do have this concern. Good, you're entitled to it. But anyway, so this is how a prime minister of a country reasons, my friends. And I'm talking not only about in general, he is the prime minister. That's the way they think. So please, if you have any respect for authority, bring that a little bit down. I'm saying authority, people in power, that's what I mean. Those people in power, if you have respect for them, drop them to your level or lower than that if you held them in high esteem. These are the people. These, the Zelenskys, the Bidens, the Kamalas, the Blinkens, the Boris Johnson, the what's her name, the Lizzie Truss. Remember her? She's gone for a while. Annabella Baerbock of Germany, Olaf Scholz. These are the leaders these are the best, the creme de la creme. All right, I got one more article so I can show you the exact time, date, time, location when the Russians will conduct an offensive on exactly 3 fronts. A, B, C. A stands for this, and B for this, and C for that. All right, let's see the third one. Ram pam pam. Wow, this comes from General Staff. Ukrainska Pravda. Russia is preparing for offensive on certain fronts. General Staff. Okay. It says, the Russian military is preparing for an offensive on certain fronts. Doesn't say which ones. And also continuing attempts to advance on the Liman, Bakhmut, Avivka, and Novopavlivka. So this happened already. But he said in the first one, is preparing for an offensive on certain fronts. And also, so that's a different story here. We already know this one. It's like, the sidekick, the card reader or the palm reader tells you that, and your family loves you. And maybe they know your parents or whomever. And yes, your mom, her name is, Gina. She is a very nice woman. Yes, she's a whatever. They use things that they already know to make, to build their credibility in what BS they're going to tell you next. This is exactly what's happening here. Yes, we know that they're continuing attempts to advance on, and they give you Gina, Michael, Tom, and I don't know, Liman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Novopavlivka, and then the Russian military is preparing for an offensive on certain fronts. Do you think that if you're going to tell me the fronts, you're going to somehow strategically, I don't know, undermine your defenses? So, and I'm quoting, the enemy is actively conducting reconnaissance, preparing for an offensive on certain fronts. That's it. And then despite heavy losses, there are continuing attempts of offensive actions in. So this is a different story. The first one is that they conduct reconnaissance, prepare for an offensive on certain fronts. This is the information. You have no information. No information. Said no offensive groups of the enemy were detected on Volyn, Polisia, Sivershnia, and Slobozan, Chanjung fronts. And then he tells us here the front situation. So he doesn't know what. Now, that reminds me, if you remember Donald Rumsfeld, that weasel, okay, when it was about Iraq and the weapons of mass destruction, and he came in front of the TV. He was interviewed, and he was telling us where those, it's on camera, you can see, I think it's here on YouTube if you find it, I watch it many times, then and now. He said, I watched it on TV then, he said that, talking about the mobile biolabs that Ukraine, Iraq had. He said, yeah, we know where they are. They are in the north, they're in the south, they're in the west, and they're in the east, or something like that. So everywhere. You don't tell me shit. It's like I tell you that, I don't know, man, you're going to get some money soon. Of course I'm going to get some money. It's not like I will never get money ever again, or they will give you some money. Who's they? The same here. The north, south, east, west. Look into that. Rumsfeld giving you the location of these biolabs, the mobile. We know where they're at. They're north, south, east, west, or something like that. Just look for that. These guys are our leaders. Jesus Christ, I'm foaming here at the mouth. Well, I think this is just to help you if you needed help, to see how these guys are giving us information, all right, and how they make. I gave you 4 articles here, plus Rumsfeld, that exemplify how these guys just don't say anything. They don't know. They don't know, but they say they're going to come in an offensive. I can tell you everything these guys say, made up, general stuff. In anything you want, without knowing anything. In general terms, in the future, near future, then come, good, bad, maybe this, maybe that, possibly, reportedly, allegedly, could, never say never, things like this. I can use those little terms and walk you around an issue until the second coming. So thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.